Well. Hello, and welcome to another episode, another show, another podcast. Positively positive, groundbreaking, one of a kind. I'm Susan Mintz, the host of Positively Positive. And for those of you who don't know about the show, where have you been? Where have you been? Anyway, Positively Positive highlights and focuses on people all over the country, not just in South Florida or Palm Beach County where I live, but it focuses on people in the community who are maybe HIV positive. They work for an organization. They're community oriented. They are activists. They've had loss that they know from people HIV. It's all about everything HIV. Every show is different. Every show tells a story. Every show helps remove the stigma. And every show is a one of a kind because everyone I've interviewed, everyone we have had on is unique. And they want to share. They want to tell you how and why and what. And that's what this show does. We share information. That's exactly resources. We share with whoever wants to listen and whoever wants to be on. If you want to be on and you have an HIV component in your life, someone you know, an organization, an event you want to promote, please, you contact Richardo Jackson at Campbell Health Solutions or myself, Susan Mintz, and we will send you the calendar and you can be on. Your story matters because you are changing and help to change the lives of so many people living with HIV who are going to possibly become HIV positive and those who are on the medications. We talk about everything. So now that you know about what we do here, the glasses are coming off. When my glasses come off, that is time for me to introduce someone from last year, a marvelous man with a great story, just a blessing, but I wanted him to come back on to tell you all about his amazing life and what he's doing with it. So now I'm going to introduce Misael Ramos. Come on in.
That was an amazing intro. I love that. I love that. You got me all set up and all rallied up. And I love your intro. It just gave me if I had some theatrical things, I would put the spotlights and the sounds and the horns and all of the greatness. Thank you for having me. And love that you have me here.
You'd have the flamingos dancing in the background.
I love that. Don't forget that. In the background, there's trumpets playing and fans going and lights just blaring and 4th of July fireworks and glitter.
Good evening, Misael. Good evening. Now, tell me your story. Just tell me your story. Tell the world your story.
So let me just say
Where do you live?
That I live in New York City in Harlem. I live on the west side by Manhattan Avenue, which is a fabulous neighborhood, a thriving neighborhood. Everyone lives here: white, black, Asian, Chinese, gay, drag queens. I love this neighborhood. It's thriving. I love to be a part of a community that there's a little bit of everything. So let me tell you a little bit about who I am. My name is Misael Ramos, also known as Mickey. I've been in the field since 1999. That's when I got my feet wet. I was an AmeriCorps member. My godmother pretty much was like, you should try out for this. It's an AmeriCorps service. You will be a national service provider, and they give you a stipend, and they give you, a stipend at the end of your 900 hours to go to a college that you want to, and you get experience doing community work. And I said, you know what? I don't have a resume. I don't even know what a resume looks like. And she helped me do a resume, and we submitted the application, and they picked me. And 1999 to now, that's a long time ago. I've been doing work ever since. So I have been in service providing social service work for over 25 years. I'm grateful to be a part of this service because even though I have been in the field, in front line, working with people for the last 25 years, doing different jobs, just working with people nonstop, I'm realizing more than ever now with this administration, with where we are going and the movement that we are moving to, that we need to speak up. We need people that are experienced, that have been doing the work for years, that get it, right? We need to mobilize and strategically share our stories, right? And bring it to light. So feel free to ask me questions. I'm an advocate. I'm a youth coach. I just recently got a consulting gig with being a coach for foster parents. I'm a youth coach with kids that are in the foster care system. I am a peer navigate. I'm a peer specialist. A year ago, when we interviewed, I was going to school to become a recovery coach. Mm-hmm. And get the flags, get the 4th of July fireworks, get the trumpets going. I completed my certification. I am a certified KSAC, which is a recovery coach. I completed my 300 hours around language and connecting people to services, meeting people where they're at, and got certified by the Oasis. Let's just speak. Go ahead.
Ms. Ale, where are you originally from?
Yes. I'm Puerto Rican Dominican. I was born in New York City.
Your heritage.
I'm originally from the Lower East Side. From the projects. A single parent. My mother raised me and 4 other boys in the projects. My mom is from the Dominican Republic. She came here with her mother. Recently she just passed away. She was 100. She passed on. She raised us in the Lower East Side, in the projects. I'm from the Lower East Side. From Manhattan, New York City. What else?
The other thing, when we opened up the show, and I mentioned your name, and you said your other name known as, what was it?
Mickey. So people know me as Mickey, so it's on my neck. When I was 21 years old, I was having a couple of martinis with some friends, and some friends were like, hey, I think you should get a tattoo. And I was like, well, sure, I should get a tattoo too. And then my friend was like, I'll pay for it if you get the tattoo. And then I'll get mine after you get yours. And then she paid for my tattoo on my neck, and then she saw how it hurt so bad, she didn't end up getting the tattoo. So I have this tattoo on my neck because of a bunch of apple martinis. Although I don't drink no more, I'm in recovery. But it's just a crazy funny story. This was Lori Walton, and a few apple martinis.
Yeah, mine was tequila shots. Always get me in trouble with tequila shots. Bad.
It's that alcohol. Once the alcohol comes in, something else comes out.
Oh, you know. Now, how does the HIV component fit into here? Where are we with HIV?
So the HIV component with me, how it works is this: For the last 25 years, I've worked with people that are connected to HIV. I've tested people. At one point in my life, in my career, I used to work as an HIV test counselor for an all-gay high school called the Hedrick Martin Institute. To Astor Place in Manhattan, the only one that's standing. It's a full high school. You can get your high school diploma there. I was testing young adults that are now today adults when I was an HIV test counselor. So those young adults that I work with then that are HIV positive, I work with them now still. I'm still connected with them. I check up on them and see how they're doing, how their well-being is doing. And you know what I realized is that a lot of the young people that I worked with in 1999, they're adults now and they're experiencing, mental health, health complications. They're dealing with recovery and substance use. So HIV is really dear to me. I've lost
Mental
a couple
health
of
issue.
friends from, huh?
Yes, you lost a couple of friends, you said, with HIV from HIV.
Yes, yes.
So it's
I
personal
have
at
lost.
many levels, professional. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's
it's
personal
very
on many
personal.
levels. It's really personal. It's really personal because I have lived experience with HIV, right? So I know
Right.
what it takes to make sure that you're undetectable, to make sure that I take ownership of my status, right? Like I go to the doctor every 3 months to make sure that all of my blood is well. When I do a full panel blood, I mean a full panel blood, like my sugars, my T cell
Mhm.
accounts, all of that stuff. And I've been undetectable for years, right? Like I do that because one of the things in our culture is people think that HIV is a death sentence and that you can't have sex with somebody that's undetectable. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me tell you a story. So I was messing around with this dude, right? And comes to find out, he states that I passed him HIV, right? And that's something really, really, really something that you don't say. Like, you gotta be correct if you're telling that someone's passing you something, right? And I had to go to my doctor and process that because I take my medication every day, and I know that I'm undetectable because I do my blood work every 3 months. So unfortunately, I had to make a situation out of this, right? This was a teachable moment. So what I did, instead of being angry, I made this a teachable moment to him. I brought him in the clinic with my provider, and my provider had to break it down to him that there's no way in hell that I could have passed him HIV because of since a date that I was diagnosed HIV that I've been taking my medication since. So I was undetectable, and there's a record, there's a track record, right? There's your records, there's your health
Mhm.
records. So he felt so embarrassed, and he felt so like abandoned, and I was like, you got to figure out what you need to do. You need to take care of yourself. But I wasn't the one that did that to you. You know what I'm saying? So that was something that was traumatizing to me. But I I had to share that because I can't imagine how many people go through that, right? So I say this to say this: make sure you take care of yourself. Make sure you take your medication every day. Make sure you do your blood work so no one can come to you and try you. Because guess what? The receipts don't lie. The receipts don't lie. Okay, honey? And health doesn't lie, right? So when I say it's personal to me, it's personal to me. And it's personal to me on levels of social service and activism work that I do, making sure that my young people and my adults that are battling substance use, that they're making sure that while they're out there using and they're in psychosis and they're up for getting to take the medication, that they're walk through that process of taking care of themselves and taking the medication, even though they're battling substance use. Um, I hold it dear to me for those that have passed on from a lack of medication and a disservice to them because shame. I had a really well mentor. I think passed away from like complications to HIV, and his name was Willie Ninja. They brought he was out and open about his status, right? So like just people that are affected by it. I've worked in the fields with people that are positive, that I've tested when they were teenagers. Now they're adults and they're doing well, and they're taking their medication. And also too, like it's hard to talk about this, right? A lot of people are really isolated and shameful because a lot of people
Right.
are shaming them. Like it's disgusting. Like it's taboo. It's ill. And sorry.
Several of our guests over the years that's what they've said. You have to build. You have to self-worth, self-esteem, empowerment, have support that is around you, because there's shame and there's guilt and there's stigma. All the negativity is still there, but you have to come up from that.
Yes. So I would say you have to build your support networks. You have to build your support networks, like your social networks, like your fellowships, like empowerment groups, like social groups that are providing service for people that are HIV positive or affected by HIV positive. They have groups like that around the world and in the city, right? I also would say a mental health specialist, a therapist, to work one-on-one with you on personal stuff and developing that part of, that's not a me issue, that's a you issue, right? Like, that's not my problem. I'm taking care of myself.
Mm-mm.
I'm taking care of myself. I know exactly what I need to do, and I know what I am doing, right? And doing it, right? So it's a you issue. And we have to also build ourselves to, that's okay if they have that issue. It's not your issue. There is tons and tons of support for people that embrace if you are affected or have been affected by it, that love you and embrace you and support you and see you. People are living long. People are thriving. The people that have it are like leaders, are directors, are executive directors, are artists. Like, it's just a small piece of the puzzle, darling. It's just a small piece of the puzzle.
But this is a society issue also. HIV, stigma, it doesn't matter whether it's mental health. It's our society issue. It's a community issue.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a self-isolation issue. This can happen to
No.
anybody, and you have to be
Yes.
proactive in your health.
And you have to be proactive in your health. And I agree with what you just said. You have to be proactive in your health and consult your provider that you talk to, your doctor. Let them walk you through what's out there. They got great medications now, like PrEP, right? They got PrEP that's out there where you can take PrEP every day and have unprotected sex. If that's what floats your boat and you like to have unprotected sex, you could take PrEP and you can go and be the open sex, non-judgmental person that you want to be and have sex with whoever and how many people you want and not contract HIV, right? And then also they also have Doxy, right? Like where you can have sex and if you feel like that person might have an STD or STI, you could take 2 pills after your sexual encounter and that can kind of take care of that STI and STD. So there's advanced medication now, where, people have worked really hard to allow people to be free with their sexuality and connect, right?
But Nazale, I don't think though you tell people to go out and have sex with anytime, anywhere, with anybody they want. I mean, that's not really where you're coming from, though. It still has to be, nothing is 100% preventable except not having sex at all.
I agree with you. I was just talking about a piece of a piece of information, right? Like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, the way you don't contract anything is not having sex at all, right? But a lot of people are having sex, right? So like young people are having sex without even the education, right? Because the education is being pulled, the funding is being pulled, right? So like, you know, people are having sex and people are not being trained how to like go to the doctor after you have sex, you know, or go to the doctor every 3 months. Like people don't even, what is that? People don't even know what that is. Blood work, full panel blood work. They don't know what that is. They're just having sex and not even getting tested. So like, you know, I think education needs to come back powerful again. Like we had it back in the day. Like, you know, I remember having sex ed classes. I remember having like groups that talked about sex. I remember trainings that happened that talked about sex. You know, like, you know, like, and things are changing, and I get it. The administration's different. You know, things are changing with the administration. You know, they got certain people that are working in the administration that don't see things, right? I get it, right? So we have to go back to the basics and give education to all across everybody. Not just specifically LGBTQ, but everybody, because everybody needs to be aware. You know, everybody, straight, gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, everybody needs to be educated.
And there's so much now with sexuality, with the LGBTQ plus, with transgender, so many marginalized people now who feel like they are seriously oppressed.
Yes. Yeah, it's sad right now. Right now, it's sad because it seems like the administration is focusing more on allowing everybody to have services and not specifically like targeting, like, you know, we need our LGBTQ programming, we need funding for LGBTQ, right? I think they don't get it. They don't get like that is, you know, those are people that are human, right? They're trying to take that funding away and just make it more generalized. Like everybody needs, you know, services, but they don't get the complexity of like what LGBTQ people go through on a day-to-day basis, right? To support them and empower them and lift them up in places where communities are disadvantaged by funding and income and things like that, right? Like they don't really live in those communities to really like say where money and funding should go. But we are, you know, I still exist. I'm still working in the field. I sit on the board for Boardroom We Care. I work 3 different places, doing social services. I'm in recovery, so I'm in the rooms. I'm about to join another board for Backyard Collective. So like, I'm trying to do the most and the best that I could with my platform.
Right. And how
you
can
know
we
what I'm saying? Like, yes.
How can we contact you? Do you have an email address or a specific organization or someone?
Yes, I got an email. How do I do it? Should I put it in the chat or?
No, just mention it. They'll record it and put it on the screen. Because you're very involved in New York.
I'm very involved in New York. You know everybody in New York. You know all the organizations in New York. So if you need connections or to be connected, you can reach me at mizaelmramos@gmail.com. So that's Mizael, middle name M, Ramos @gmail.com. So if you're interested in supportive housing, I can connect you to supportive housing. If you're interested in housing, we can get you connected to housing. If you need support with food stamps, SNAP benefits, if you need peer-to-peer support with recovery groups, walking through the 12 steps, harm reduction, facilitation, and doing workshops. I could do that as well. If you are someone that is in the foster care system and needs a coach for young adults, I also do that. If you are a foster parent, they're struggling with some of your young people that you are
Mm-hmm.
fostering right now because there's so much trauma that's happening with them. I am a coach for you as well. So, I try to put my foot where I could because of all of the years of experience that I have, right? It takes the wisdom to know. Um, I try to have my foot in everything so that, you know, at the end of the day, I can put my head down and say, God, like, thank you for putting me in this place
Mm-hmm.
because it's not for everybody. It's really not for everybody. Not everybody can do it this long.
Oh,
So I have
now,
a long 25 years of just doing it.
yeah.
All right, now my 10%.
When were you diagnosed? What year were you diagnosed?
2013.
Okay. So
20,
not
20,
not really that.
2013 I was.
All
Huh?
right. And are you on any specific medication now?
Yes. I currently take Triamex since day one, since 2013. And my choice of the drug that I take for my HIV is Triamex. So
Okay.
I continue to take that one pill a day, and it has left me by the strength of God and by health. It's been undetectable, and I appreciate that. I'm very healthy. My mom knows, my family knows, people in the community know. I don't really come out and like on my platform say, "Hey, this is who I am." Like I think that's just a small piece. But for this platform, I don't mind sharing it organically because my health is well, and I take care of myself really well. So, at the end of the day, I look at myself in the mirror and say, you're doing it. You are a product. You are the walk. You are walk the walk. You are walking it. You are true
Yeah.
testimony to right.
And and that's what this show is about. This show is good. This is what we're about. Highlighting people, places, organizations, having you refer other people who want to be on, whether they're promoting an event, whether what organization they're involved in. This is why Positively Positive works. And we need more visibility because this show is highlighting someone like you in New York, where people can reach a real person and get to the resources they need without having to go through all the bull and all the bureaucrats right off the bat. And the other thing, do you know Tommy
No,
Thompson?
Tommy Thompson. No.
He lives in Harlem. He's very involved with the theater. He's been a guest on the show. And I just had someone else from Harlem who was on also. I can't remember. Seems like, and
I'm
New
gonna I'm
York
gonna recommend.
City. What?
I said I'm gonna recommend some people to come on and connect with you guys. This is a
That'd
good
be
show.
wonderful. But New York City and South Florida, we're very different. We have resources here. You can go to a little place in Kansas or in Idaho,
Mm-hmm.
and you could be left out in the desert, literally having to drive an hour to get something, or not even have internet access. I mean, we take it for granted in many ways the way we live. When there are people who are
No,
suffering with HIV and don't know any place to go.
I, and I agree with that. There are people that don't know that they have HIV and what stage they are in, right? And are just kind of like fading away because the lack of education, the lack of resources. Like this is 2025, right? Like we should be talking about this freely, right? We should be having um artists and celebrities like
Mm-hmm.
donating and pouring money into these platforms where these platforms can continue to grow and sustain itself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they can do it right here. Campbell Health Solutions and Susan Mintz
Yep,
and Ricardo Jackson. We would love a couple celebrities to take us on as a cost. Yeah, we're doing something different. We are the
absolutely. So
first.
celebrities, this message is for you, celebrities, calling all celebrities at this very moment in 2025. We are in need of funding. Funding, because without funding and education, we can't sustain and save lives. And we're trying to save lives. We're trying to educate people. And how we educate people is through groups, through organizations, through trips, through social gatherings. Those things cost funding, not necessarily from my pocket, but to create. We have to create these things, and that costs a little bit of money. And we will hope that you guys can see and donate as much as you can to this organization.
Yeah, I mean, this is a
My
platform.
battery's dying. My battery's dying. So, any last questions before we cut off, or like, what? How do you want to handle this?
What? We're fine. We got plenty of time yet. Keep talking. I want to know about everything. But in general, oh, well, no. How are you? Anyway, what I want to say is I think you're marvelous. I think
Thank
you
you.
are giving so much to people. And New York's not only blessed, but this show is so blessed to have people like you on who can speak truth, who can speak honestly and openly. And you're a blessing. And I hope to have you on next year again. And you bring some people on the show who have things that they want to talk about, their own lives or organizations or what's coming up over the summer. But anyway, just thank you, Mizael Ramos, and thank the
Thank
people who
you
are
guys for
watching.
having me. I appreciate you all.
And thank you for watching people. Thank the audience for watching Positively Positive, because we are a real platform that cares so much about your health. And we'll always be, I'm Susan Mintz, always committed to love. Follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, anywhere. But we are here to stay and help and love.